So this is a forecast for March 2012. I am looking forward to this month. There's a lot of interesting things coming up. Now, it's going to start with the moon exalted in Taurus with South Node Ketu. So that brings a lot of solid emotions because the moon is exalted, but also joined Ketu. This is on March 1st. Ketu brings some criticism, so you want to realize that we're starting the month with a lot of emotional strength and power, but also maybe some criticism of ourselves. So allowing ourselves to be nurtured is a big thing with Moon Ketu. And then we find that then the moon will go into, after a couple days, the moon goes through Gemini, then it goes into Cancer, March 5th and 6th, and it'll be getting an aspect from Saturn, because Saturn is in Libra, and so could be some real deep sensitivities and emotional issues coming to the surface around the 5th and 6th with Moon in Cancer and the powerful Saturn aspect. So we have to pay attention to the type of love that we give at that time. Cancer and the Moon is about the selfless love that we give children and pets and other situations like that, rather than the romantic love. So the romantic love situation might feel stressed on March 5th and 6th, Moon in Cancer aspected by Saturn. Then we have on March 8th, we have the full moon in Leo. Now this is the full moon that comes halfway through the Aquarius cycle. The Aquarius cycle is about selflessness and service and things that are bigger than just our own individual power. And then so the full moon in Leo comes to reestablish our individual power. So we have to, if we're going to really fulfill the Aquarian lesson of this month, of this solar month, which is when Sun and Moon came together in Aquarius on February 21st, that Aquarius lesson that we're in right now about selflessness and something higher must be also connected with a sense of dignified identity and individuality, and that's what the full moon in Leo is about. So the new and full moons always work in tandem. The new moon, Aquarius, is about realizing that it's not just about our own individuality, that we need to align that with something bigger. Otherwise, we're just in this sense of worldly identity rather than universalizing that worldly identity, which is incarnated millions of times. So, however, within that framework, though, we need to have the courage and we need to have the individual clarity and strength to be able to exist in, for instance, like culture and society without being overwhelmed by it, without being in a kind of servile, kind of drone mentality. So the Leo full moon is the balancing point of the Aquarius cycle. So, dignified service, which is Aquarius, really demands that we put our heart on the line and honor the individual creativity of each person and ourself, which is the Leo lesson. So March 8th, full moon in Leo, these themes of Aquarius and Leo will come into full balance because the sun is in Aquarius, moon is in Leo. Then we have to watch out, because then the moon is going to start that sort of 10-day course when it joins Mars, and then it's hemmed between Mars and Saturn, then it's joined Saturn, then it's joined Rahu in Scorpio. So March 11th and 12th, we have a Moon-Saturn conjunction in Libra, and Moon-Saturn always gives you the awareness of limitations, and many times that has to do with things that we want from other people and how we can't have it and it feels painful and cruel. So we need to be mature about those things and grow in solitude and practical realism on 11th and 12th, and be careful about depression and grief. And then March 12th, Mercury goes retrograde. So we start that time that he's actually retrograde until April 4th. And so Mercury's retrograde in Pisces, where he's debilitated. This actually has a tendency to reverse the kind of fog of Mercury debilitated a little bit, because Mercury will be debilitated in Pisces when this happens, and so when it's retrograde, then we tend to reflect upon that rather than overuse and misuse the energy. So Mercury retrograde starts March 12th until April 4th, and it's a time to watch your speech and reflect on what you say and what you communicate on all levels. March 13 and 14 can also be some really difficult emotions, so really avoid trying to engage and process difficult emotions at that time, because the moon's going to be debilitated and with Rahu at that time, which is, the moon is in Scorpio, so the emotions are really extreme, and Rahu, the north node, also excites and amplifies things. So you might not be so objective on those days. So wait for it to pass. When the moon goes into Sagittarius on March 16th, it'll be really good, because there'll be an excellent Jupiter aspect to the moon on March 16th. So March 14 and 15, March 13 and 14, be careful. With moon in Scorpio with Rahu, and then March 16, there'll be a really nice aspect of Jupiter on the moon, with the moon in Sagittarius. When we have, in fact, in between that, March 14 and 15, Jupiter and Venus are in like a planetary war in Aries. So there could be some conflicts between your sense of pleasure and happiness in the world and your long-term goals and teachings and philosophies that can come to the forefront on March 14 and 15. So really, March 13, 14, 15, there could be some real potential for conflict. So be careful processing difficult emotions. Then March 16, we have a nice Jupiter aspect on the moon. So look for an answer and a revelation on March 16th. It could be a big day of revelation with the Jupiter aspect to the moon, especially after the turmoil, and if you're careful on the previous days. March 20th and 21st, moon is in Aquarius, and it's in opposition to Mars in Leo. So Mars in Leo will be aspecting the moon in Aquarius 20th and 21st. So, one of the things is, since Mars is retrograde, some of the frustration and the potential aggression of this placement can be sort of pushed down, and it can bring a sort of inner courage. The thing to realize is that you'll feel duty-bound towards your larger causes with the moon in Aquarius, and you might be able to turn your enemies into allies with Mars retrograde in Leo. There might even be some assistance from the government or something around that time, March 20th and 21st. Then March 22nd, the new moon happens in Pisces. So now we have a new moon cycle in Pisces, which is really about surrender. The Aquarius lesson that we had been finishing about service to humanity, about universalizing our individuality and our individual ambitions and goals, which is Aquarius, leads to Pisces. So only until we let go of that universalized nature, even the desire to want to save the world, can we actually let go and surrender in the realm of Pisces. Pisces is where we let go of everything, even our desire to save the world or to be this, servant of humanity and all like that. So really the theme of this month is service and surrender. Service is Aquarius, surrender is Pisces. And March 22nd begins that cycle of surrender in Pisces, where hopefully through Aquarius we've put our ambitions, our personal ambitions, and our fascination with the world and trying to save it and all of the potential bitterness and conflict that we see into a larger perspective so we can let go. And that's what Pisces is about. New moon in Pisces on March 22nd begins that cycle. So when we notice how these cycles work from Aquarius to Pisces, then we can relax into that depth of feeling and cosmic, the sort of cosmic womb, the cosmic heart, which is Pisces. And then March 25th and 26th, the moon joins Aries. The moon joins Venus and Jupiter in Aries on March 25th and 26th. That should be very inspiring and a great way to really initiate this new sign, or this new cycle of Pisces, March 25th and 26th. And then 27 and 28, we have exalted moon in Taurus, which again should really bring about a lot of peace and a feeling of emotional connection that can facilitate the Pisces lesson. So this is just a quick overview of March. Big things coming. Jupiter-Venus conjunction in Aries is big. We have the full moon in Leo, new moon in Pisces, and you need to be careful of that period of time when the moon is in between Mars, and then in between Mars and Saturn, then joins Saturn, then debilitated with Rahu. You have to be careful during that cycle. And also we have a Mercury retrograde cycle. So big stuff in March. Leave me some comments. Let me know if this was helpful for you.